Today we're going to do a quick run through of the friendly port of Levski, starting with how to land there. See, how nice is he? Thank you, bud. The first thing that you need to know, and it applies to every port, is that if you re-spool, even if you're too close, it will still give you the marker and then the distance away from it. It's pretty helpful when you're landing anywhere, especially if you haven't been there before and you're not sure, or if the sun has set and it's hard. Sometimes on planets, you fly into huge storms at night and it becomes way harder to find things. All of Levski's hangar are drop-in hangars. There are no pads, but they are pretty sizable. I mean, I'm in a Mantis for crying out loud, and they gave me this huge pad. So coming out of the hangar, one of the first things you notice is that you have a lobby to go to and a customs. They are different. I'm going to show you the lobby first, but customs is where you go to access the majority of the rest of the port. The lobby has terminals that allow you to go on the surface of the asteroid. You can summon all your surface vehicles here, and then you go out through this airlock and walk over to them. So I pulled out a gray cat buggy to show you what I mean. This area is really detailed and really interesting, although besides driving around and enjoying the view, there is not much to do. But Levski is one of the easiest places to pull out a vehicle, in my opinion. So if you're just looking to tool around with some friends and some buggies, this is an excellent place to do it. But right now we're mostly interested in the rest of the port, so we're going to take the elevator to customs. As a reminder, this is the lobby. It feels like you might want to go to the lobby for other things, because that's what you do on other ports. But here on Levski, you have to go through customs first. Now, when you're in customs, you got your little crime terminal, your customs gates that take you to the rest of the port, but also you have a fun little surprise if you stay here, and that's an elevator that specifically goes to Teach's ship. Teach's ship shop is exactly what it sounds like, and it is a shop that sells ships. Now on Levski you can find other land vehicles and industrial ships, working class ships. Here's some Auroras, predictably a Prospector. Ooh, there's a Hornet over here. F7C. Don't buy that ship. It's not worth. Drake Cutlass. Excellent ship. You can buy ships out here on the floor by just coming up, hitting F, and clicking on them. Oh, except I don't want that. Thank you, though. Thank you. No, thank you. Or you can use the computer terminal, which is up here, which will give you more options, and it functions just like any other store. I think the most important thing that you can get here is a caterpillar. That's not really what it looks like. All of those models are out of proportion. But let's go look at the rest of the port. So as you go through the customs barriers and lag a bunch, you have a cool statue. Let's take a left. This is your admin services, where you can do refining and buying and selling. This is where you'll pick up and deliver packages also. This door here takes you to two of the residential areas where you have the chance to spawn if you die or respawn or log off and log in on Levski. There's another one over there. And if you are in any of them and confused, there are these yellow arrows that will bring you back to this central area. There's two elevators that go down to the Grand Barter Market, which we'll look at in a second. This residential area here, which is if you come out of the customs area and take a right, you'll get here. There's also 2 spawn points this way. Liberty maintenance is where I believe that you'll have to go to here to repair your ships one day. But that's not in game. So let's go down to the stores. We're going to call an elevator and go to the Grand Barter Market. The Grand Barter Market is pretty clearly labeled. You can go left or right. They'll both just wrap around this big piece of machinery and bring you to here. Now, before I show you the stores themselves, you need to go down the stairs for the most important thing, which is this stall here. This is where you can buy food, granola bars, and water, and also crypto keys. If you don't know, you need crypto keys for certain quests and different kinds of objectives, but I'm not going to go over those in this video. Just know that you can buy them here in Levski. This whole underneath area is really interesting and will clearly have a lot of development. There's plant sellers, fish sellers, there's places to buy noodles, there's a restroom, like you can buy this clothing here. Also, boots, helmets. But really the most crucial one is just food, water, crypto keys. All three things that you desperately need in game. So if we come back up the stairs here, notice this is where we came in. This is the path to the elevators. Immediately on the right is conscientious objects. They sell all kinds of things. Most importantly for new players though is this: your multi-tool and your ore bit mining attachment. If you haven't yet, you can go here to Levski to buy these things so you can do first-person mining primarily in caves. It is a decent way to make money. They also sell the flares that help you see in caves, although no one uses them. And then, of course, med pens and oxy pens. There is a wide array of weaponry sold here. And like any store, you can buy them right off the wall or go up to the terminal and buy them. The next store that you might want is called Cordy's. So if we come out of the conscientious objects, which is where we just were, again, those are the elevators to exit out. We go back down the stairs because we don't need to eat or drink again, but we want to go to this place called Cordy's. Now, personally, I don't think a shield makes a very good O, but that's fine. And you have armor and helmets that you can buy here. It is worth noting that you cannot buy the rucksack here, nor can you purchase the hot or cold suits, which also have built-in rucksacks. So because they don't have rucksacks, you probably won't desperately need to visit Cordy's. Let's look at our next store. So again, these are the elevators. We're gonna pass the hospital, which I think is where you'll respawn one day when you die. And there's a sign here that says Central Ventilation System, which is where you get to Dumper's Depot. If you don't know, Dumper's Depot sells all kinds of ship equipment, specifically industrial pieces and parts. They sell a wide array of almost all the ship systems, but most notably this is also a place where you can get mining heads for the Misk Prospector or the Argo Mole. Now, as we leave the Dumper's Depot, We're going to ignore that door there for a while and make our way to the Cafe Musician, which is this sleazy dive bar. Interesting location, but as you can imagine, right now, like all the bars in the game, there is not much to do. But they are good looking and we are hopeful. So to do a quick recap, from the elevator passageway on your right, conscientious objects. They sell weapons, but most importantly, the multi-tool and the orbit mining attachment. That direction, central ventilation. In there's a dumper's depot that sells your mining heads for your ships, but also other ships' systems. Down into the Grand Barter area itself. One day there will be a lot to do, but for now, there's Cordy's where you can buy armor, but no backpack or rucksack. And then, of course, your food, your water, and your crypto keys. So now let's go back up to the main area. Again, it doesn't matter if you go left or right. They both take you around the big structure. Now from this main area, if we take a right here, there is something called Borehole Station. Aptly named when you think about it as a mining station. You pass a bunch of NPCs milling about. And you come to a functioning area of Levski. And most importantly, an NPC that you could actually talk to. You're not in the mood?
Hey!
There you are.
I was hoping you'd swing round again.
I'm gonna look for work.
Ah, then you'll be wanting to see me. Name's Rekko. I see to the boring fiddly bits for most of the miners work in the area. Dig site claims, equipment orders, or transfers and the like. For most jobs the terminal will set you up. But if you're after something with a bit of hair on it, best to talk to me direct. If you'd like, I can see to setting you up with something now. Nothing too big, but it'll let us see how we feel about working together. Sound alright to you?
I don't know why she spins around like that, but whenever she's done talking, you have to hold F to get your dialogue options.
There may be a contract I could toss your way.
So sometimes she gives you work. It doesn't always successfully work.
Unfortunately, things are
Yeah.
a bit slow right now. I'll keep you in mind.
Okay, thanks, lady. I have gotten work from her, but obviously it doesn't always do the thing. And then when we leave her, I've taken a left, and there's just an array of, well, there's parts of Levski that are expansive and really cool. If I had gone straight down there, I could have gotten down to that walkway. If you go down that walkway and take a right, you can get to an elevator that actually takes you back up to the dumper's depot. Oh, look. It actually, look, this connects it to it as well. But there's computers and fans and tubes. And there's a whole bunch of parts of Levski that are really cool, but you don't have to interact with directly. See, now we're back in the Grand Bazaar. I mean the Grand Barter. Well, whatever. Another of the mysterious tunnels is opposite of Borehole Station, which, as you remember, is over there. So if I take a left instead, I get to a similar work area, except instead of NPCs, it's all kind of caved in. So it's like an identical area, just busted up. I highly recommend wandering around all of these random areas, not because they're viable gameplay, but because they're incredibly beautiful, detailed maps, and you just it's a level of detail that very few games have, with good lighting and good models and good sound design. And I mean, Levski, the amount of Levski that you don't actually play in is huge. This also brings us back to the Grand Barter. So, to recap, Levski is on the asteroid of Delamar. It is its own jurisdiction, which I forgot to mention earlier, which means certain crimes that you commit in other places in the verse aren't actually crimes here. Which is kind of fun. You might come here and not have a crime stat, which makes it easier to hide from bounty hunters. The lobby is the area that you go to get to here, and to summon surface vehicles, but you have to go to customs in the main elevators to get to the rest of the station. Conscientious objects is where you can buy your multi-tool with the orbit attachment. Corrides is where you can buy armor, but you cannot get a rucksack there. You have to get that someplace else. Dumper's Depot allows you to buy ship parts, most specifically mining head attachments. And Rekko is a person that you can get quests from. Teach's Ship Shop has its own elevator in the customs area. To access it, you can't get there any other way. And, of course, it is one of the easiest places to get vehicles out and just go ham on the surface of an asteroid.